Hello, it's me, Nancy, today. Well, I have something to share with you today. Now, I am a knitter. I've knitted for years. Mostly I would knit shawls of sorts. So I have, tons of these shawls I knit because I would just start knitting and keep knitting and knitting and knitting all winter. But I got a book about toe-up socks a few years ago. And it's called Toe Up, 2 at a Time Socks by Melissa Morgan Oakes. It's 2 at once on one circular needle. You see she's got a circular needle there? Well, here's my circular needle. And now I just use regular yarn that I buy. I guess this cost me $4 for a big, I think it must have been a pound or so. It was on special at Giant Tiger, and so I bought, like 15 balls of it because I knew I liked that stuff. And it was a good color. So, I want to show you what I've done. So, you start at the beginning. I did show you on another video how to start that. But I start at the beginning, and I go up, and I do the foot. And then this book wants you to make a, is it the gusset? You start at the beginning and you work the toe, and then they start increasing. And so the front of it goes up, but the bottom gets bigger and bigger, and that's called the gusset, that part there. This is called the instep. Anyway, so that's one way to do it, but so I started a few years ago. I did one pattern, and I made these. The pattern was 2 knit, 2 purl. I guess that's 2 knit, 2 purl. Maybe it's 1 knit, 2 purl. Anyway, I was making these, and Jennifer today showed me that I needed to increase for my calves. And so I increased. Now these fit me perfectly, but that means they're hard to get off because they fit exactly. And see, it's hard to increase when you're doing a ribbed. This is ribbed, I guess. How come the middle looks different than the sides? Looks like there's 3 stitches there, but the center one looks different every time. Interesting, isn't it? Maybe it has to do with pulling them. Maybe I've pulled them out of shape. Unless I've pulled them up. Anyway, these are working pretty well. They show signs of wear. They're also dirty. I just took them out of my dirty laundry so I could show you this video. Anyway, so that was my first pair, and the socks in the book went up to about here. But it's winter, and I wear skirts always. I love skirts, and I don't wear them for any religious reason. I'm not whatever. I just love skirts. I just feel feminine when I wear a skirt, so I do. Anyway, so I need socks that'll keep my knees warm, or keep all my legs warm. Okay, so that was my first pair. And then my second pair, I think this was my second pair. I was going upward, and I thought, well, I'm at this point, and so I thought I should make it a little snug there, and so I put in some ribbing on the back, but not on the front. And see, I increased when I got to the calf. And then I ribbed at the top. And I did a pretty good job measuring my foot. These fit perfectly, and these fit perfectly. And then I made another pair, which I went way up above my knee, and they were so awesome, but they would slide down as I would wear them because I hadn't decreased up above my calf. And so Mary Jane came over, and she loved them, and they kept her warm, and her legs are a different shape than mine, so they fit perfectly. So I gave them to her. I know, I do not give away or sell socks. Forget it. There's too much time that goes into them. But I gave them to her. And she was really cold the other day. So cold. She went out, and I don't remember exactly what the situation was, but she came home, and she couldn't get warm, and she put on those socks, and she got warm. They just warmed her right up. Anyway, so this was my second pair. And then Mary Jane's was my third pair. And then I knitted another pair. And these, I got my foot. I think the foot is a bit wrong. The size of the foot. I don't use a pattern because the patterns want you to use a smaller needle. And these are 7 to the inch. And these are, you know, like most socks. Most socks want it to be, you know, very thin. Very small. Anyway, mine aren't. So, and then yesterday I knitted and knitted and knitted, and I made, well, not in one day, but I made these. And these, I did not make the gauntlet. And so these are just a straight tube, and then you add the heel. This, why is it not laying flat? Maybe it's because I wore it. This lays flatter. Oh, but it's wrinkled at the bottom. So it's either wrinkled at the top or the bottom. And I'm not sure what to do about having it so pointed at the heel. I'm showing you my dirty socks. It's the way it is. Okay, so I again did this. And so I am very pleased because now I have 4 pairs of socks, which are awesome. Now, last year when I made some socks, I got this far and I thought, oh my gosh, these are never going to fit. Look at this. This is ridiculous. This was according to the pattern, which gives this ribbed look because you purl all the way across and you turn it. So you only work on the back of it when you're doing the heel, even though you're on a circular needle. So you stop working the front and you just go back and forth on the back. And this was so fat across there, I thought, this is not my foot. This is not the shape of my foot at all. This is not going to fit. So I just ended it. So I have a pair of these that are just ended. And the same thing happened when I tried the other day. I thought, oh, well, I'll try the pattern, and I'll go according to the pattern. And I measured everything out, but they became very short and very fat across there. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is not right. These are way too small. And so I thought, well, I'll just tie them off. And so I did. Finished them off. And then I thought, oh, well, these will be nice and warm. So I put these on over these. And look what happened. In about an hour, this had worn right through because I had the ribbing against this thing. And so it dug a hole right in there. This one has a huge hole. There was also a piece of thread which was loose, which I hadn't tied away. So that was in the heel. And I only wore these to town and back and realized after I got home and took the out ones off that it had worn a hole right through. So then I thought, well, I'll just turn them inside out. So I've turned them inside out and been wearing them like that. So they're dirty, you see. So the ribbing won't be against the ribbing. But I see that it's continued to wear a bit. And so I now have another hole over here. So I think I'll felt the bottoms. But you can just knit and go around and pick up stitches and just knit. You know, you pick them up here and knit a row and attach it and pick them up and just keep going and just fill it in with a knitted row. Anyway, so that is my wonderful sock experience. So I want to make 7 of them. So I have one for every day. That way I don't have to be hurrying to wait for the wash. And perhaps I won't wear through them. I think maybe one key is not wearing them when they're dirty. Because when you wear them when they're dirty, see, it's all mashed down when they're dirty. And I think it wears through quickly. Another idea is to use to put some extra thread in. Maybe, wouldn't it be interesting to spin some dental floss? If you have a spinning wheel, you could spin dental floss on the bottom sock. The bottom, when you're doing the heel, could use some yarn that you've spun with dental floss. I don't know how that would work. Anyway, so there we have it. And they are so wonderful. I'll put these on, show you. Put them on with one hand, of course, because I have to hold the hammer with the other hand. And see now, the heel is here, and I made this too tall, too long, because I got carried away knitting and knitting. And this one I had made a bit of a rib around the bottom, but it doesn't work as a ribbing. It sort of buckles. But they are so warm. They keep my feet nice and warm. So I thought what I would do with the top, which is too long, I would take it on the sewing machine and just sew across it and then cut it off. Make a seam. I could take it out from the top, but that's working backwards, so that doesn't unravel the way. So, there we have it. Ta-da! And you can do this at home. Results will differ. Two up, toe at a time socks, and it's got lots of different patterns. In case you're one that wants different sorts of patterns, look at that. See, all sorts of patterns in here. But I just needed warm ones. So I just do it in straight knitting. Okay, bye.